Hey, my goodness, both my gals is in the house with wrenches on. Wrenches on. You know, I ain't got anything in particular to talk about tonight. We just chilling tonight. Hey, baby girl, baby sis is in the house. Yes, she is right here. And so is my sisters in the house. So, how has the day been for you all? You know, I'm going to make it right. I end up laying down today. Well, I laid down around 3:30, and it was one of those where I knew, oh, I had to really, really watch myself because I could have slept through this so hard. I don't know. This planetary alignment and all of that is busy day for you. Yeah, yeah. I was out earlier and did some grocery shopping. Well, finished picking up the rest of what I didn't get. Yeah, it's been a fabulous day for you. Fabulous day. Excellent. Excellent. Yes. 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 Well, I can't complain, but I will tell you, hello there, spirituality and herb, Sabrina, my girl. Good evening. Yeah, no, I today big. Well, let me see. I went picked up some groceries. Uh Listen to a couple of podcasts, really good podcasts. Like, I call them, they're very much in the now. Um, I don't know if any of you are familiar with a guy named Bedell, but he's Bedell 10, I want to say 1029. And don't quote me on the numbers, but this brother, oh my, he is I'm not even going to say that he's ahead of his time. Some of us are just gifted to, uh, we have the gift of learning the knowledge, but being able to take that knowledge and share it with others. And he's very much a studier of the stars and, and knows how to break down the planetary alignment in reference to how it is affecting us here. And also to being able to also give us a simulation on what is really happening and how things are being played out into the political arena, and just you know uh, helping us to be a lot more aware, giving us some awareness that what, hey, it's one thing to know you're being scammed, but it's real important to understand how you are being scammed. And if you are under the illusion that we are not being scammed, then I don't know what, I don't even know what to tell you. I don't even know what to tell you. But no, his name is Bedell, and if you just put that in, then I'm sure that you're going to find him. And once again, maybe I'll find his link and I'll put it in the chat after everything is all said and done. Yeah, but yeah, listening to him and oh God, another one was Rod Hayes. I caught a live with him the other night, which was pretty awesome because he deals a, a lot with what's going on right now in reference to being organic to the land, and uh, in reference to uh, the government, uh, how the government has played its role in many different areas in terms of the you know those of us that are organic to the land, in that whole amenity and non-amenity story. It's once again, if you are in the know, and I would suggest that you definitely check these brothers out that I just mentioned to you tonight, because you know what, they are doing their thing in their arena, and just as we are connecting and that here, and it's all about enlightenment and learning new truths and whatnot. These are two brothers that I personally recommend myself. because, you know, uh, enlightenment, direction, and we are in need of some direction. And it's not just about being direction, because I'll tell you something. They both these brothers that I spoke about, it's up to us also to do a lot of our research. They can lead and they can present the information. They can even tell you where they got the information. But at the end of the day, it is a personal journey. And in order for that information to really attach to you, you do have to do your own research. So, we are all being called. Every single one of us is being called at this time to you know uh, birth change, birth change, or we can participate in what's existing. And I'm about the change. you know when I said 58 and I ain't fucking late, I mean I am also about the change. I came here for this time, and I believe that most of you did too. All of you did. All of you did, because you wouldn't be here. We wouldn't be vibing the way that we are if we weren't. So who do we have in the house here? Just want to do a little check in. So we got Thumbelina. Hey, Thumbelina. Hey, Roots and Wave is in the house. Oh, I tell you, all my girls have showed up. The hearts, the hearts, the hearts. Yes. We are called. That's right. We are all called. It's all hands on deck. And I'm going to tell you, if you want your sovereignty, at this particular point, they are not going to give us our sovereignty. We are going to have to take back our sovereignty. And I believe that what we have going on here is a beginning, and it's a part of something. Like as I said, we're building something that is going to be a part of something greater, because there is an avenue that is missing, and that is the healing element. And it's also the element that nobody really wants to look at. So we're about having those conversations that nobody else really wants to have, breaking them down, just like what your mama or your auntie would. And I'll tell you, my family didn't mince the words. My mama was cut and dry, but I'll tell you, her words very, very impactful. So, I think that is the time that we're living in. It's no time to sugarcoat certain things, yet, it is a time for holding space. And as well, you know what? Each one teach one, because my delivery may not be as effective for the next person, but you know what? Your delivery will be. So that's what we do in here. We just building and growing as we go. My. I love that. I see you. I see you, Thumbelina. I see you. What is your name? Do you mind sharing your name? I see you too there, Miss Lexi. Lexi. I'm just going down and checking I'm checking and we got my Roots in the Wave, my Angie babies in the house. Ladies, you all showed up. You know, I'm telling you, you know how to make a girl feel good. Damn. And I know that all of you have your own thing going on. And, I just want you to know that you are appreciated. And I know I say that, but, I don't think that you can say it enough, or I can't say it enough, because you know what? If I had you in front of me, it would be coming with a huge hug, just to let you know. Because I'm a hugger. I like to hug. I think hugs are good. There's something for the blood pressure and all that good stuff. And yeah, sometimes a stranger needs a hug. I've given a lot of strangers hugs. Sometimes, you know what? That's all you got. That's all you got. I found myself in that. position. All I had was a word. I couldn't change the circumstances, but I could give a word and I could give a hug. And I do believe that made a difference. You know, I tell you, did not know what I was going to talk about, but when I was just expressing that, it took me back to when I was living in Windsor, Ontario. And I told you about how I was the window setting granny there. That, you know what, I had myself to a particular place of where, you know what, I had to put myself in check because I realized that, you know what, all that watching and worrying, I just kept attracting it. The more I worried, the more they kept showing up. And I realized one day, well, okay, this is going to be a little bit of a two-part story, what brought me to my evolution. And that was this. I went from, I'm telling you, clearing people out of the backyard to one day going and clearing this whole group of addicts out of the backyard. And when I say the backyard, there was an alley. Windsor's filled with alleyways. So in the alley of the back of my home, or the place where I was renting at the time, oh, notorious, because it was, you know, was on their way from their dealer. My whole point being is they never lasted long in the alley. But, you know, doing that over and over and over again, you're keeping yourself in a very stressful place. You're keeping your thought process in a place that, you know what, is not healthy. And I had to get to that particular point that, you know what, girl, you keep attracting this shit. So you better change your thought process and start changing your thought process about these people that, you know what, you keep saying that you don't want at your door. They're a reflection of something that fucking is going on inside of you. So once I made that motherfucking mental connection, it really did change things, as well as it changed something inside of me. But I saw something inside of them that I, you know what, had been really refusing to see. And that was a part of me. That was a part of me, pretty fucking powerful. But now I want to take you forward. I'm going out because, as I tell you, I didn't stop me from checking my neighborhood. You know, I just checked it a little bit differently. So I'm out there and I can see that this one gal is out there digging in the garbage and she's rooting through the stuff. And my first response was to be like, hey, you know, and Spirit said no. And I said, you're going to put that back. And she said, oh my goodness. Yes, yes, yes. I would. I promise you. I always put everything back. She was taken because I had just gotten rid of a ton of clothes. You know, it was one of those dumpster days for me. And some of those clothes were like new clothes because sometimes people give you things and whatnot. And she had came across, I'm watching her go through this process. And I'm feeling like, oh my goodness, that's somebody's daughter. Because I could see that, you know what, she had her struggles with addiction and, you know, but, you know, addicts, they're not all bad people. You've got motherfuckers everywhere. But, you know, people just caught up in shit. And that's what I saw that day. I saw a woman who perhaps maybe had been a mom or she was a sister. She was definitely somebody's daughter. And I'm telling you right now, my heart really went out to her because she comes across this pair of jeans and they were new. And I'll tell you, I would have given them to her. That's the thing. I would have given them. She wouldn't have had to go diving in the dumpster. Because after that, I did set up something that, you know what, listen, if I got something going on, I won't even put it in there. But to make a long story short, she comes across these jeans, and I'm telling you right now, she said, it's just like Christmas, just like Christmas. Yo, it broke my fucking heart because, you know, bad enough that, you know what, I watched a city that, you know, I went to deteriorate in a very short span of time just because of the different drugs that showed up into the neighborhood. And as I said, I was living right in the thick of it. But nonetheless, you know what? I'll tell you, I got to see all kinds of different kinds of broken. And at the end of the day, you know what? It all had its story. Like she had her story. I took that day, and you know what? I'm not saying this just to make myself. I'm only saying what my heart was moved to do that day. I went to my purse and I had $10, and I went and that's all I had. That's all I had. But I also knew that I had way more than what she ever had in that moment, and that you know what, that $10, my kind word, my letting her know that she was human that day, because she brought the fucking human out of me, the human out of me. And I hope that, you know what, seriously, because she wasn't meant to stay on the street. She wasn't, because she was known for being that one to go through the garbage and neatly put things back. Anyways, to make a long story short, I went and got my $10 and I said, listen, go have breakfast or go do you. Just go do you. If I had more, girl, you'd have it. And you know what? Let her know that, you know what? I wouldn't have put those in the garbage. In fact, baby girl, you know what? I would have put them over here on the side. So then I did start handling things differently. Instead of putting them in the fucking dumpster, making someone have to go to the dumpster in order to get the shit, I started laying my fucking shit right out on the lawn. Here, free, free. Go ahead, take it. Because it's a fucking humiliation of having to go in that dumpster. I don't know. The video that I did a live back here. Uh, anyways, it ended up getting deleted. But in that live, I talked about my experience of eating out of the garbage when I was a little kid and when I went to school. And there's a whole psychological process that goes to that motherfucking shit. So if you think that, you know what, being what you call so-called a bum is fucking easy, it takes a lot to be able to keep your motherfucking head up, keep it moving, and try and muster up something inside of you to be as human as everybody else. So, you know what? Think about that. But you know what? I know my crew already think like that. So, you know, it's been a humbling experience for me, because you know what? Even when me growing up the way that I did, as I said, inside that very, very sick community, I didn't always handle it like that. I did not always handle them like that. And as I said, because I didn't, I kept getting a whole lot more of what I didn't want. So anyways, power of changing your thoughts and all that good stuff. Yeah, but no, I just, nothing concrete to talk about. I just really wanted to come and do a check-in just to see where everybody was at, and see what's flowing and shaking out there. It's Friday night, and I know for some people it's at the weekend, and for some of us, you know what, it's not the weekend. You know, you're doing shift work, and you might be going into a 12-hour shift, you know, or the beginning of a 12-hour shift, coming from a day off. I didn't like that. I hated being opposite to the world. Shift work really messes you up like that. I used to work 2:30 to 10:30. That wasn't too bad, but still, your whole day is surrounding work. You're just doing nothing but thinking about going to work or working your ass off before you go to work. So, you know, that didn't always work out. And I also felt like, you know what, at some particular point, I really didn't have a life. I became very separate to the rest of the world. But that didn't last longer than what it had to. I much preferred the 9 to 5. That worked a lot more with my schedule, because I'm an early rise, love my early morning, and you know, 3 o'clock I start to do that drop. So you know, by 4:30, being out of there is perfect. That's working into the office. But you know what? As I said, I really just wanted to come and do a Friday night check-in. Oh, this is another thing I wanted to do. I didn't just want to check in, because you know what? I didn't just want to check in. I wanted to check in because of the fact that, you know what? We are at 120 subscribers. 120 subscribers. And I say, where and how did that happen? And then I said, I know how it happened. It's the rippling effect that's happening. And I'm just going to take a minute right now before I do get off here tonight, because I want to give a shout out to those new subscribers. They need acknowledgement, and I don't want it to keep growing before I end up completely forgetting, because I keep forgetting each time to show it up. So I'm just going to actually go down and I'm going to do some names. We had Thumbelina on here. She was on there tonight, and she is a new subscriber. But Thumbelina at Thumbelina 1568. And then we got Molly Brown at Molly Brown 7. I think that's 17. Molly Brown 17. And then we got Elevated Healthy at now let me see. Where is that? Subscribe. Subscribe and the elevate. Oh, subscribe and elevate. Sorry. I need my glasses. Ain't no way I'm gonna see that. Like, whoo. Yes, you know what? That's my age. Now listen. Now you all know that you're pulling out your Sears. I don't know when that happened. I know I was working in the office. I used to keep a chain around my neck, put them on and off because you know what? I didn't need them. I just need it for things up close. I didn't need them for reading. And oftentimes, you know what, you're doing a lot of reading. But this print is so small that damn, I can't see. So I do need it. Oh, this is so much better. Oh my God. Yes. And that was Molly Brown at Brown Mall 17. And then we have the Elevated Healthy at Subscribe and Elevate. And then Bella Fia, Bella Fia at Haas O Bella Fia. And then we got Letta Wolf. I like that name. At Letta Wolf. At no, Leah the Wolf. Go to get this right. You're Russian. And then we have the clown crazy as fuck. I guess that's what it is. It is. And that is UQ. That is at the clown crazy as fuck. And that's how I'm saying it how he says it. 344. And then we have Ember. But Betseca at Enrico Betseca. Wow. 6596. I'm sorry if I'm massacring your names, but you gotta give me some here. And then I said Hilda Lynch already at Hilda Lynch 3706. And Shanna, the one and only. Shanna at the one and only 3685. So that's all I'm going to do for shoutouts tonight because I think the rest I'm getting down in and I don't see the other subscribers. I only get to see those ones that you know what that their subscription is visible to me. But to all of you who subscribe, I want you to know how much you are truly appreciated and that you have become a part of something bigger than you, that you actually help to raise the vibration of not only this channel, because when we do that, it is having a rippling effect out there. So that's really what's happening here. It's beyond you. It's beyond me because spirit is pulling us together now. It's not about, what our differences. It's about being able to come into the room with our differences, wanting a better world, one where truth that is built on truth, one that is built on more of a solid foundation. And we also know inside this room that our healing is a very huge component to that. And so we're embracing that. We know that this is a safe space to come to. So if you're new here, and you know what, as you will see throughout my videos, it has been a journey, an evolution journey. Seriously, you'll see where, you know what, I'm going to tell you, in the earlier parts, I wasn't even showing myself in my videos. And then in the other parts, you know what, you were getting to see a little bit about who I was. And then, you know what, as my throat chakra opened up, and you know what, the message came to me via spirit as to what I was that I was supposed to speak. It's been an evolution to the point of where I'm speaking in front of you today. Clarity. It's not that I didn't have it to speak about, but I had some healing to do. And it's a beautiful day. And it's a beautiful thing. The fact that we are together tonight, this evening. So, as I said, I really, didn't have much of anything that I personally was going to be talking about tonight, other than, you know what, it was just a discussion. And I'm seeing how everybody's week was, because the planets and everything that's going on with our upgrade, I'm feeling that. I am feeling it. Now, you know what? Don't get me wrong. I've had a run of good energy, and I've been working with that energy. But nonetheless, I think that, you know what, I'm coming near the point of where I'm getting a little burnout. And I don't want to even use the word burnout, but I'm recognizing that I need some rest. And I need some playtime, and I just need to pull away from everything, and so that I can come back, because I got some good projects, which, you know what, I'm going to tell you, I got coming up. And I want to just mention this, is that this is one of the projects. I have been in discussion with spirituality and herb and gems. That is the young lady that I said was the animal whisperer. And, we have had two powerful, heavy conversations. And so she is going to be on in an upcoming show. So I want you to look for that, because she's going to tell her story of her connection with spirit and animals, and seeing the spirit in an animal. And most of us carry some sort of especially if you're an animal lover, and you've been, animals have been sent to you, you are going to love this beautiful sister story. And I'm excited, and I'm looking forward to it, because it's actually going to be my first live with a guest. So, who knew? And there's many, many, many more coming, because I tell you, I've got some good lineups coming. Anyways, so I just want to give you a little in on that, because it's in the making, as well as some of the gals that are currently wrenching for me right now. We are going to be getting together in, you hear us talk about one another on each other's show, but, um, I think it's more than time that, what you see, this dynamic that, what spirit has brought together and created, so that, and see who they really are up close and personal, because you've seen us all opposite, but you're going to get to see us together. So that's something else that is coming up that, extremely, extremely, extremely excited about. So anyways, those are just a couple of things that, what we got to look forward to, and in reference to the channel, and that I've been working on. This is really taking its direction, and disciplining me. It's make me have a little bit more of a schedule, you know, because I've got a few irons in the fire. This whole social media thing is I'm still grabbing it and still learning, and it's all a learning, and I'm figuring out. It's like, Hilda, don't read instructions, and I know that they come with just like even my Facebook page. It gives you this whole goal. You keep setting your goals. Well, you know what? I just move in my own time. And I've always functioned like that. And it might look like I'm running around there in circles, but I just gotta do me. And it has seemed to have worked out well, but I do need more discipline. I know that. And so I'm disciplining myself as well as I said, because I'm on Instagram, and there's the YouTube, and I have my Facebook page. So I'm learning to engage with folk on each in some way, and just keeping that engagement going, because you are building a relationship. And the whole point is, if you know what, we can get that relationship to magnify, and they draw somebody else. That's what grows this family. And I know that I have to be on point and committed, because you know what, people are only going to be as committed as I'm committed. And I've noticed that since I've showed up, we have grown on a more consistent basis, because you know being the empath who likes copious amounts of time to herself. Listen, I can tell you right now, I could do a video once every 2 months, and I'd be very, very happy with that. But that ain't what Spirit's saying to do. Spirit's saying that this is not, you ain't gonna build like that. And so get off your ass and get more structured and disciplined. And yes, you are retired, but you know what? You ain't got it like that. You will never retire, because you know what? You are on a life's mission that I put you on. So you know what? You either come correct, or let me start pulling some of that shit away from you. So seriously, kind of went down something like that, Well, not maybe as harsh, but I say, you know, don't block your blessings, is what I'm trying to say. So I'm being obedient, and you know what? From being obedient, while things have blown up in a good way. I've met beautiful connections. I've found more of my direction. And you know what? It feels good. It feels good when you know that you're in your right direction, and you're going, because then it's only upward after that. But, anyways, I am not going to. If does anybody have any questions? That's what I'm going to say. If you got a question for me, you know what? I don't got a problem answering a question. Ask me anything. I'm pretty transparent. And when I say I'm pretty transparent, you might get an answer and you might not get an answer. And I'll let you know it's not your business. But yeah, ask me anything you want to ask me, because this is in a getting to know. And I also like to, I'm going to put this out there too. Your email, please put your email in. I have an email in the description. I need to get an email list going, because if anything goes awry and you all disappear because of YouTube, this, that, or the other, we need to start building a connective line, even when it comes to getting some of these notifications and that out there. And I realize the importance of that, because we are living in a world which, you can't take anything for granted, and you got to keep one step ahead on some things. So I realized that I should have been doing that earlier, but here's where I'm at with it right now. So please drop me your email. And not only that, but you know what? That's another thing. Some people just don't want to share out here like that. They don't want to share in the comment section, but you might want to share something to me in an email. Because listen, I want to hear your story. Whatever that story is, I want to know where you're starting from, because we are all in different places in terms of starting points with this journey. Here's the deal. You've answered the call. And if you made it here, then you're that much further they're ahead of the journey. And it's okay. Sit in the room and learn from some beautiful spirited people. that are not going to lead you astray, but just got nothing but mad love. Anyways, I am not going to keep you on this Friday night because you know what? It is your Friday night too. But I wanted to come to you and let you know how much I appreciate you and how much that, you know what, we have been raised in the vibration. You have definitely raised the vibration in my life. I feel the rippling effect. I feel your energy. I feel it in every single one of your comments. Every single one of your comments. And I don't even care if it's a heart. I read hearts. I read hearts. And all those hearts and all that that's up there tonight, you know what? That is my love from my heart back to you. So as you go through this Friday, I'm sending you peace, love, healing, standing in your power, 10 toes down, because what? We got the motherfucking power, 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 power. We got the power, 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 power. Now go throughout your motherfucking week. Blow this shit up. Blow somebody else up. And let's make it happen. We are the change. We're going to be the change we want to see. So I'm out. Go make a great Friday evening.